Namaskar. I have been asked several times why, as a feminist, I have chosen to talk about Hindu genocide, etc. In order to answer this question, I'm starting a series on feminist interpretation, sexual violence, Hindu genocide, etc. But to do this, I have to do several lectures. The first one would be the different types of feminisms that exist in feminist theory. The second part of my lecture would be some important definitions about genocide, and the third part I'll apply these to my study of the Kashmiri Pandit genocide and the Bengali Hindu genocide that happened during partition. There have been other genocides, but I'll concentrate on this. This is my first lecture, and let me introduce a little bit of where feminism started. Feminist theory. I'm going to strictly apply feminist theory on this. If we take 1789 to be the year of the French Revolution, when Europe entered modernism, we'll see a huge change in the way European society was arranged, especially France. So how was it arranged? There was the divine command coming from the Christian commandments, scriptures. Then there was the monarch, and then the nobility, and then the hoi polloi. So it was a linear structure. The monarch was not a representative of the people, but a representative of the divine. So commandments are coming top down. The French Revolution, which is termed by Marx as a bourgeois revolution, the bourgeoisies formed a very important part of the, probably the most important part of the French Revolution. So why is it so? The bourgeoisies were not there in France before the French Revolution, of course. There were some serfs. Who are the serfs? They were bonded labor under the nobility. So they slowly got freedom, and when they got freedom, they didn't want to stay in France anymore. They ran away one by one, and they became free slaves, and they formed bourgers, or towns where they could trade and amass money. From the word bourgers, we get the word bourgeois. And they amassed a lot of money. Now they're free. Then they came back to France, but yet they could not assert their rights. Why? Because remember, it's only when capitalism, that is free market, and modernism broke out, that land could be bought and sold. The idea of the market in this large sense was not there. So they came back and they started to push for this middle class buying land. Land cannot be just inherited, or land was a divine property. It can only be inherited. This they didn't accept. And eventually it led to the French Revolution. So Marx says that land is, the bourgeois, the French Revolution is a result of excess of money. They had lots of money but no rights. Right to vote, right to own land, and so forth. But the bourgeoisies, who were the previous serfs, wasn't a large enough class to make the revolution. So what did they do? They took the working class, the peasants with them, who were also disenfranchised by the monarchy and the oppression of the monarchy, and the French Revolution happened. What is the most important thing in French Revolution? Secularism. Let us try to understand what secularism is. It's not what people say in everyday language. Secularism is a division between the public sphere of the state, where the state would rule, and a private sphere where people can practice their religion. So a public-private binary dichotomy was created, and society was rearranged. What is in the public sphere? You can practice your religion, which is mainly Christianity in France. You can trade. Market became more a private thing. Your family is private. You can choose your family without the interference of the state. Of course, the state law will surveil all of this. And you can associate, have a civil society outside of the gaze of the state. So the monarchical state is gone. Who is the state? The state is a representative of the people. So you have a public sphere of the state, which will stay away from your religious practices, your family, your civil society, your market, and your everyday cultural life. But in reality, that kind of split never happened. The state is always surveilling. This is how post-French Revolution society was rearranged in Europe. And the other thing was the market became huge. People used to trade before, but mostly all the things, for example, the clothes that I'm wearing, the food that I eat, all was homegrown, mostly. They had use value. We produced them to use them, but now they have what Marx would say exchange value. We grow food in large quantity to sell them and make profit. We weave clothes, but to sell them and make profit. So the market increased. It is in this context that we have to understand feminism. Also, what came into existence at that time was the notion of the right of the individual. The individual is the bearer of right. Remember, before that, everything was inherited. The monarch was the ultimate authority together with the priestly class who interpreted the scriptures. There was no such thing as a law based on rationality. The monarch, the state, was not a representative of the people. So, what happened is they gradually, as they separated, secularism came in, the public-private dichotomy, the bourgeois class started to practice in a different way than the old feudal lords would practice. It is within this context we have to understand the first feminist revolution. So this is just the introduction. I'll bring in the feminist movement in the context of this lecture. Thank you.